Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about what I call building a revenue machine, a cohesive, consistent sales process. So my experience with sales has been really around those two key areas: understanding human psychology and understanding the process which can create predictable revenue. And I'll tell you that we're working diligently at BLOX Digital to really think about harmonizing our people, our process, and our technology. So how do we think about kind of recreating our go-to-market strategy? And really the three pieces to this are, again, harmonizing our sellers, the people, the humans behind our sales process, redefining your go-to-market strategy, getting aligned on how we go to market, and then technology, right? Enhancing adoption. We all have technology and tools within our sales tech stack, but are they being truly utilized for maximum efficiency? So this, of course, is the hardest one because this is human behavior change. You've got people who are, again, differing generations, making it challenging to manage them all the same way. If there's one thing that all of you remember from this presentation, it will be this, and that is sales is not a one-size-fits-all position. It's not. It never has been, and we shouldn't pretend that it is. 4 unique individuals of varying generations, varying selling styles, we're actually asking them to do everything in sales. Lead generation, preparation for client meetings, going to the client meetings, setting them up, proposal creation. So I think we can all agree that no one person can be good at doing all of these things. So what we're doing at BLOX, and we've been working on this for about 18 months now, and we're getting better, but we're building out a very SaaS-esque sales structure where understanding where you sit in the process is most important. So we've adopted at BLOX role specialization. This is a sales methodology that I've used at other companies to be very successful. This is how Salesforce operates. This is how the best-in-class SaaS organizations operate. But really thinking about the 3 unique pieces of the sales funnel. So looking at our salespeople not as one-size-fits-all, but new business closers. These are going to be our account executives. And then you've got technical leads, right? These are the folks in our buildings that they just know all this stuff that we sell and how it all interconnects, right? So let's talk a little bit about the process side of things. This is the hard stuff, right? This is getting people to change behavior, which is never easy to do. So how do we clear swim lanes to really create efficiencies within our sales organization? But these are all aligned with our funnel stages, right? We've got the new business development, filling the top of the funnel with qualified leads. We've got the salesperson, the QB, the closer. They're in the middle, right? They're managing that deal, working it through the funnel. And then your technical leads at the bottom. And they're going to work between the bottom and the middle to help facilitate getting a deal closed across the finish line. People don't clearly understand where their role is within this new function or this new structure. It all falls apart. So if you look at your new business development team, they're going to be tasked with outbound lead generation. We hired a BDR, business development rep at BLOX Digital. She is currently working, I think, 300 leads that she is actively working. It's a different skill set, right? That you have to be focused on a process every day, follow-up, number of calls. What's the messaging? What channels should I use to elicit the best response from these prospects? Message testing. In the middle, you've got a lead qualifier, right? These people have to take the lead that's coming from the new business development rep and ensure that they're actually a qualified lead and a potential opportunity. These folks are going to handle all the client communication, coordination, closing, and then ultimately a smooth handoff, right? Making sure that we're handing it off to whoever's fulfilling that order once it's closed won. And then on the technical lead side of things, technical qualification. Is the deal structured the right way? Did we miss any solutions that would make whatever the bundle that we're putting together most impactful for our customers? They're going to be the ones that are going to help with the demos, the presentation, showing the technology, actively talking about the solutions more intimately than perhaps your new business development or your QB closer would be able to. How do you incentivize the right behavior to be sure that this machine is flowing step by step by step? So the big thing is compensation shift. So these 4 sellers, new business development, in the case of BLOX, we have our business development person, Dora. She is focused solely on marketing qualified leads. She is compensated based on a volume of total leads that are qualified by her first and the sales rep second. The quarterback closer, their compensation plan is going to be similar to what they likely are in your buildings now. Percentage base of the deal size. Similar with the technical lead, typically it's going to be a percentage-based compensation plan, but it's going to be lower than the reps. The reason being is because you're not going to have as many technical sellers in your building, and they're going to be supporting all the reps. So they're going to be tied to more deals than just the quarterback or closer is currently working through the funnel. So then the qualification piece becomes really important. I think oftentimes, again, pie in the sky reps, we think it's a deal, but is it really a deal? Is there really a high propensity to purchase what we're putting in front of them? So the qualification process is really important for the business development side of things. We use a band qualification, budget, authority, need, timing. If those 4 things are true, it's a marketing qualified lead. It's a marketing qualified lead, it gets handed off to a rep. The rep then needs to conduct a very prescriptive client needs analysis that we have built for our prospect calls. The reason for this is because if the new business development team is only gold on marketing qualified leads, guess what? They're going to say every lead is qualified because they're going to want to make more money. So these checks and balances of then the sales qualified lead means that it's an opportunity, and or in our case, our business development person is getting paid out on that lead.
So with an existing sales force and putting people into these specialized roles,
Yep.
How did you go about that? Did they self-identify and say, hey, I think I'd be best at this, or how did you do that?
That's a great question.
That's a plan.
I owe you a cocktail a bit later. Thank you.
I didn't know, I swear.
No, this is a complete paradigm shift in really how we think about organizing our sales teams. It is how best-in-class sales teams go to market. It just is. There's just no denying it. But what we put together and we'll share afterwards is we didn't just want to throw this at you, go back and say, all right, how do I make this actionable, right? So we've created a series of assessments. You can put them in a Google Doc, you could deploy them to the reps, but we've got 3 different assessments. The first one is really around the right people, the right seats. So this is where you're going to use this assessment. There's going to be a scoring grid at the bottom that you can look at, and it's going to tell you where these folks sit. You're going to see they're transactional, they're outbound, they love cold calling, they hate cold calling. This assessment, I think, will help your team to kind of start, your leadership team to start thinking about, all right, who would fit into each of these buckets. We just started using the Einstein functionality, so we've got our Outlook inboxes synced, and actually testing it. I've rolled it out to 3 of us now. But what it does is when you go to a contact record, it actually now looks at all of the emails that have that address in it, and it starts to put some scoring. Yeah. It says competition triggered, right? So competition is mentioned in this call. We're also going to have our team really start using the Zoom AI tool to distill the meeting and use that to put into our notes, so we're tracking all of that information too. But I think there's so much opportunity with how we use AI. Not only manage the pipeline, but create sales efficiency. Yeah, I mean, for us, we hired our first business development person. And the reason why is, for us, we really needed to increase lead volume, and it's a unique position and one that not everybody is fit for. I mean, Dora is sending thousands of emails a week. She's tracking those emails. She then has a follow-up cadence. At the same time, She's looking at her sales automation platform and seeing A/B testing on subject line, A/B testing on copy. It's a very analytical, data-driven, but then also a person that does not mind just banging out calls. For us, we were able to architect the front and back end, and then use the existing sales structure kind of in the middle. But I'd be curious, if you put this assessment out, you might find that you've got a bunch of sellers that you're asking to make cold calls on a daily basis because we're desperate for new business. Just fucking hate it. It's the last thing they want to do. If you gave them an opportunity to never do that again and just wake up in the morning and have leads in your inbox, you'll be happy. But it might require hiring a more specialized new business person. In most SaaS organizations, account management is the function of the revenue operations team, right? The revenue operations should be everything from lead generation all the way through to upsell, cross-sell, resell. But we have our AEM team sitting outside. We actually brought in what we're calling a solution strategist. And that person is kind of acting as a sales account manager, if you will. We've got 2,000 customers, so it's hard we have 5 reps. So 2,000 customers, 5 reps, it's untenable. At that point, we're a customer service business, not a sales business. That is our solution strategist. So they are calling customers all day, very similar to the business development function, except that they're calling on our existing customers. Checking in, of that 2,000 customer base, our solution strategist has already worked his way through 1,700 of them that aren't covered by our reps. So it can be a fast moving, but it's checking in, so it serves as care and feeding. He does a site review, so he's bringing insights and value to each of those conversations. He never runs into an angry customer, so that's great.
Okay. That's all.
But in your before state, you mentioned missing data and missing metrics. Can you explain a little bit about the metrics that you're now relying on?
Yeah. So when before we started implementing Salesforce, we had no real pipeline. We had a CRM, but it was hard to really forecast that data forward. So right now, what we're looking at is, in the SaaS business, it's all MRR, revenue recognition, and when that can kick in, and it can't kick in until it launches. So, from some of the data sets that we're looking at are lead volume, showing trend lines. We now have trackers to show month by month. That's going to give us an idea of, all right, well, last year we saw inbound go down, but outbound go up, or vice versa. That tells us that we're going to have to adjust next year. Could be a trend, right? We see an influx around trade show season, summer months, and then it's about to hit a cliff as we head into the summer, which means we have to ramp up new business development, outbound sales efforts. MRR tracking, so we can look at a 90-day forecast of what's anticipated to close. On the project management side of things, we're looking at the data to support when those projects are going to launch and when that MRR is going to be recognized. So we really now have a full data picture of inbound lead flow all the way through to onboard customer. Any other questions? Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.